So today I'm going to show you how to draw these three linear functions using the first of three methods. I have timestamps below if you don't want to watch the whole video. So let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to draw this first linear function. So for the first method, we need 3 points to draw the straight line. So we need an x which is less than 0, we need x equal to 0, and then we need an x which is greater than 0. So here you can see that m is equal to 6, so m is greater than 0, so you know our function must have a positive gradient. Then you can also see here that c is equal to minus 7, so c is less than 0, so we know that the function is going to cut the y-axis somewhere under here. So our first point that we have to get, for simplicity I'm going to take x equal to minus 1, but you can also take x equal to minus 5 or minus 10, minus 2. It just has to be less than 0. So I'm going to take x equal to minus 1. Well, then y is equal to 6 multiplied by minus 1 minus 7. So that means y is equal to minus 6 minus 7. So y is equal to minus 13. So now we have our point, which is minus 1 minus 13. So I'm going to draw that in. So we go to the x-axis, we go to minus 1, and we go down to minus 13. So that's our first point there. Then our second point is where x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 6 times 0 minus 7. So that's equal to minus 7. So our second point is 0 minus 7. So we're going to draw that in. So we go down, here is 0 on the x-axis, and we go down 7 points. So our point is there. Then for our final point, we need to choose an x greater than 0. So you can take any one, you can take 1, 2, 3, 4. But just to keep it easy, I'm going to take x equal to 1. So that means y is equal to 6 times 1 minus 7. So that means y is equal to 6 minus 7, which is equal to minus 1. So that means our final point is the point 1 minus 1. So we draw that in. So we go to the 1 on the x-axis and down 1. So that there is the point 1 minus 1. And now we can draw our straight line there. So just put some arrows on it. So here in GeoGebra, you can see the function 6x minus 7. And here's our first point. You can see it's minus 1 minus 13. Our second point is 0 minus 7. And our final point is 1 minus 1. And there's our linear function drawn. So let's go to the second one. So the second one, we have the same. We have to find 3 points to draw the graph. So here you can see that m is equal to minus 3, m is less than 0. So we know that our function is going to have a negative gradient. So it's going to go from the top left to the bottom right. And then we can also see here that c is equal to 13. So c is greater than 0. So we know that the linear function is going to cut the y-axis on the top here. So let's begin. We need 3 points. So we're going to start with a negative x. You can take any one. You can take minus 1, minus 2, minus 5. But just to keep it simple, I'm going to use minus 1. So we put minus 1 into the function. So we get minus 3 multiplied by minus 1 plus 13. So that's equal to 3 plus 13. So that's equal to 16. So we have our first point. It's negative 1, 16. So now to draw it in, I'm just going to use another color. So here, I'll just put in here minus 16. So we go negative 1 on the x-axis and go on top. So the point there is minus 1, 16. So then for our another point where x is equal to 0, so then y is equal to minus 3 multiplied by 0 plus 13. So that's equal to 13. So now we have our second point. We have 0, 13. So now we draw that in. So we go to the x-axis and we go up to 13. So that point there is the point 0, 3. Now for our final point, we choose an x greater than 0. So it can be any point. So we take, I'm just going to take x is equal to 1 because that's the easiest one. So that means y is equal to minus 3 multiplied by 1 plus 13. That's equal to minus 3 plus 13. That's equal to 10. So now we have our final point, which is 1, 10. So now we go to our x-axis, we go to 1 and we go to 10. So that point there is 110. Now we can just connect the dots. And just remember your arrows. And there our graph is drawn. So if we go to GeoGebra, you can see here I have drawn the graph. And you can see our first point here, minus 1, 16. And then our second point, 0, 13. And our final point, 1, 10. And there our second graph is drawn. So now I'm going to go to the final one, which is the same method. So we need 3 points. We need a point for where x is less than 0, a point where x is equal to 0, and a point where x is greater than 0. So in the above here, you can see if I choose x equal to minus 1, so let's say x equal to minus 1, then y would be equal to minus, 1 divided by 12 times minus 1 plus 3. So then y would be equal to minus 12 plus 3. So that's not a nice point, because then our point would be minus 1 minus 12 plus 3. So you can draw it, it doesn't matter, but if you look closely, if we choose x to be minus 12 for when x is less than 0, it will be much easier to get our y. So I'm going to choose x equal to minus 12. Then y is equal to 12 multiplied by minus 12 plus 3. So then y is equal to minus 1 plus 3. So that's equal to 2. So now we know our first point is minus 12, 2. So I'm going to draw that in. So we take minus 12 and 2. So that's the point there. Sorry for the bad drawing. So now for our x equal to 0, we take x equal to 0, then y is equal to 12 multiplied by 0 plus 3. So y is equal to 3. So our second point is 0, 3. So now we draw that in. So we go to the x-axis, and we go to the top to 3, and we go there. Then, for our final point, we choose an x greater than 0. So again, you can take x equal to 1, or 2, or 3, doesn't matter. But then y would be equal to 12 multiplied by 1 plus 3. So then that y would be equal to 12 plus 3, and our point would be 1, 12 plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose x equal to 12. So then y is equal to 12 multiply by 12 plus 3. So y is equal to 1 plus 3 equal to 4. So our point is 12, 4. So then we go to the x-axis. So we go to 12 on the x-axis and to 4 on the y-axis. And that point there is our final point. So now we only have to connect the points. So we connect the points. Sorry for my bad drawing. So you see here, choosing x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1 for your x greater than 0 or your x less than 0 isn't always the easiest option. So you must just look which x will work out the best to get a nice y for you. So if you choose here, you could have maybe chosen minus 6 and plus 6, or maybe minus 6 and 24, or maybe even minus 24 and 6. So just to make it easier for you to work out y. So here you can see that m is equal to 1 divided by 12. So m is greater than 0. So you can see here our positive gradient is correct. Because m is greater than 0, the function y equal to 12x plus 3 has a positive gradient. And here you can also see that c is equal to 3, so c is greater than 0, and you can see it's correct because c, or the function, cuts the y-axis on the positive side where y is positive. So you know that the function that you draw, there's a good chance that it's correct. And if you also look clearly, you can see that if we set x equal to 0, the point will always be 0, c. So you see here that c is equal to 3, and the point on the y-axis where the linear function cuts the y-axis is the point 0, 3. And you can see here above, c is equal to 13, so the point where the function cuts the y-axis is the point 0, 13. And here you can see that c is equal to minus 7, so the point where the function cuts the y-axis is the point 0, minus 7. So you can always know that the point where, if you set x equal to 0, is the point 0c, or the point where the linear function cuts the y-axis is the point 0c. So let me show you the graph. So here you can see is y equal to x divided by 12 plus 3. Here's our first point, minus 12, 2. And you can see here is our second point, 0, 3. And here you can see is our final point, 12, 4. And there's our third graph drawn. So here I just wanted to show you all three graphs on one axis, on one x and y axis. So here you can see the first graph, y equal to 6x minus 7, is the green one. And here you can see the red one is y is equal to minus 3x plus 13. And here you can see the orange one is y is equal to x divided by 12 plus 3. So here you can see they labeled it f of x, so this could have been f of x equal to 6x minus 7, and h of x equal to minus 3x plus 13, and p of x equal to x divided by 12 plus 3. If you would like me to draw another graph or do more examples, please let me know in the comments below, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing and liking this video.